Hey guys, I'm back and I am outside at the stump and this is an experiment in sound. We're gonna see how bad the 17-year screaming cicadas make this video and if we continue to do outdoor videos for a little bit or what we do. But so we are, I had said, if you've been keeping up with my live streams, and if you're not, why? We have talked about getting back into budget blade unboxings and reviews because that seems to be requested a lot, and so as it happens, this is a company that wanted to send me something for review, and I had warned them, like, I'm gonna do an honest review on what you send. Now I want to make it clear, I don't know if the company that sent this, I don't know if they're just like the marketer, the distributor, or the company that made the knife, but they showed me some pictures and they said, they had a bunch of different stuff. And I was like, sure. And I didn't want to go so far as to say that some of the stuff you have looks kind of wonky. But I told them it's going to be, I'm going to do an honest review on it, if you send it. And they were okay with it. So they sent me something from their Amazon catalog. Now this is definitely a budget price knife. It's got some weight to it. Tactical Outdoor Rescue. Alright, so this is by Snake Eye. And I sort of feel like this name is a little familiar. But, let's go ahead and take a look at it. This is huge. Wow. What in the M-Tech? So this is, now they said metal handles. This feels like, this feels like some kind of metal. It has a plasticish look, but I feel like it's some kind of alloy, scale over the steel liner. It's something, all right. It's paint, you can see it's painted. So I've got painted scales. Boys, do you want to come evaluate this with me? You want to take a look at this thing? Ethan, you want to come take a look at this? Aiden? I'd love to get your opinions on what you see here. What do you think of this? Ethan's giving it a thumbs down. Aiden, what do you think?
Not a good combination of the colors.
Not a good combination of the colors? Now let's be a little positive. It is dead centered. I mean, right out of there. Got a flipper and thumb studs. It does have kind of a cheesy look. Now, when I say budget, we're talking like, if I remember correctly, of course I'm going to put text in. This thing was definitely under $20, possibly under $15. And you know what? I'm not thrilled with the steel choice, but at least they're not trying to hide it. They put it right there on the blade. 3 CR13, which is, that's junky steel. That is junky steel. That is not going to hold an edge. It is got a little bit of corrosion resistance, but that is not going to hold an edge very long at all. That is M-Tech level steel. That is. Is that a spring? Yeah, some springiness to it. Oh, patron saint of mall ninjas, rejoice. Just enjoy the sounds of nature and screaming cicadas for a second while I gather my thoughts. As if it wasn't big enough, here's Ethan, you gotta hold it. Here's what it looks like in Ethan's little tiny hand. That's cool. Oh boy, so we've got a China, oh look, they see the China sticker is removable, so you can like try to hide it, I guess? I don't know. Now I want you guys to remember, I do appreciate that they sent me this thing to review, but I said I was going to give my standard honest review, and my standard honest review is I'd never spend money on this, even if it is $10. Now, with that being said, I recognize that there are people that are going to be attracted to this knife. One of my complaints about many knives is that it's too small for my big hands, and that is certainly not a consideration here. It is a very large blade. The design of the blade itself is not bad. I kind of like it. It almost, if you look at it, it almost looks like a Tanto, but it's not. It's got a nice sweeping curve that goes all the way through. Plenty of slicing edge, plenty. Almost reminds me of a Hinderer Sponto kind of blade, but it is, I mean, 3CR steel, and for the length of this blade, relatively skinny profile there. And if you take a look at the liner lock, very thin lock compared to the rest of the size of this knife, which makes me wonder what's going to happen when we do the lock test. However, yeah, not bad. Not bad out of the box. But again, you know, the problem with 3CR13 steel isn't putting an edge on it. It's keeping an edge on. Because of the properties of the steel, it's actually incredibly easy to sharpen this steel. You can put a razor's edge on it. It's keeping it on there for any length of time. That's the problem. Because of the game. Oh, that's a whole nother video. But so what this knife would be great for, honestly, with its price, its low cost, and the steel itself, is for somebody to practice sharpening. Now, if you needed a low-cost, nice big blade for you to practice your sharpening skills, this would actually be a great choice, because it's, you know, it's not that expensive. It's easily pliable steel when it comes to working with, I mean, anything, just a whetstone, a work sharp system, a Lansky, a Kami, anything like that. Very easy to work on your techniques and stuff. And if you ruin it, it's what, 11, 15 bucks. And you have so much blade to work with that you can do that. So that's actually, that's like an advantage, a good thing for that right there. Spring power is, I mean, for a knife this size, is pretty good. It's not so hard that you can't one-hand it. I mean, the thing that makes it hard to one-hand is the size of the damn knife. But thumb studs and flipper works. And I imagine that you would be able to take that spring out. It feels like it's a torsion bar in there, just from the way it engages, and I can see a little bit of it in there. Yeah, you could probably take that out. We're losing a little bit of the centering just messing with it, by the way. You got your Jerry?
Yeah, Jerry wants to hold it.
Oh, Jerry wants to hold it?
Yeah.
Jerry, the Minecraft glow-in-the-dark squid, wants to hold this knife. What does he think of it? Too big for Jerry's squid hand? I took a little second just because I wanted to make sure. I said these scales were metal. See that little thing? I scraped just a little bit. So it almost feels like they've got a Plastidip kind of coating over them, but they are in fact metal scales with sort of a plasticized coating over it. So yes, you can in fact. So yes, they are some kind of aluminum. I took a magnet to them, so there's definitely steel underneath with some kind of alloy or aluminum or something over it. But they are in fact metal. It's pretty clean cut, pretty nicely done. Not the most comfortable thing to hold on to because where the clip is, and you'll notice we've got a tip down right hand only, no other options, and you know, to have this giant thing sitting in a pocket, there are some pockets where this clip isn't even gonna fully engage there. This is huge. It's just a really massive size. Now the lockup, first of all, the lock can get a little sticky, but it's got a good sound to it. The blade seems to travel just a little bit from, you know, off a little bit to the left to dead center, but it returns. The lockup here is a little bit more than I'd like in terms of lateness, but let's do the usual test. Probably should have a glove on from what I'm expecting here, but that felt a little springy, but it survived pretty good. Pretty well, sorry. Oh, look at that. Look where that blade went. see, I didn't even check for that blade play before I did the lock test, and I should have. But it is definitely now over. No, I don't have any tools outside right now to check the pivot out and stuff, but that clip, I don't like the way that clip feels at all. I do love the fact that it's deep carry clip, but yeah. So, and you know, I haven't touched on this yet, but looking around, the fit and finish on this it's okay. It's not great, but then again, I wasn't expecting great. I can't recommend this for too much. And I went back and I checked, by the way. It's $19.99, so it's sub $20 on Amazon. The company Snake Eyes Tactical makes a lot of MTAC type stuff. I don't know if I'd recommend much. Like I said, the only thing I think I'd really recommend this for is someone who wants to just add something like this to their collection for whatever reason, or just as a big old edge, easy edge to practice sharpening on. But I am going to do the ratings, the standard ratings that we usually do, so that, you know, we can kind of rack and stack against other things I've looked at. So let's go ahead and do that. So starting at the top where we always do, originality and departure from previous designs, I actually give it a 4. Now I'm sure, you know, with most of these kinds of designs, there's more than one company name on it somewhere, but I haven't seen this before, and like I like to say, there are only so many knife designs in the world, but I have not seen this. It's not 100% original. I see elements from some other stuff, but I haven't seen this from another company. So that's you know, 4. Fit and finish, I gave it just average at a 2.5 for the reasons I pointed out. It is just average. It's okay. It's not great. It's not terrible, but it's not that good. It just is, you know. Function and mechanics, I actually gave it a 4. Besides that blade wiggle, which, you know, can be induced on any one of those bashing tests, and, you know, I'm sure that if I were to tighten the pivot up, it would be fine. The spring system works well, the lock works well, you can one-hand it pretty well, and see, when I did that, it went right back to center. So, I mean, it, you know, it functions properly, it's easy to use, so yeah, I think it deserves at least a 4 there. For practicality and utility, though, I gave this thing a 2, which is one of the lowest ratings I've ever given in that category. I cannot see any practical application or use to this thing. I wouldn't want to carry it around. I think it's more of a showpiece. It's more of a Conan the Barbarian piece than any kind of EDC or even a hard use. It fails in the hard use arena by its construction and its design. It's not very good for EDC for the same reasons. So just, yeah. For production out of the box standards, though, I gave it a 4. I mean, the blade comes ready to cut, ready to go. Nice clean cuts on the 550 cord. Good cut on the paper, but, you know, that we're going to talk about the materials later. It's just not going to stay like that for very long. Comfort and feel, 3.5. Little better than average, but, you know, still that clip. I don't like that clip. These edges, I think, give you hot spots over time, and although it is a nice big handle, it's kind of hard to figure out where you're supposed to hold such a big knife properly, but I felt much worse in my time, you know, but I can't give it higher than a 3.5 there. For cool factor, again, average 2.5. There are certain factions, of Mall Ninja warriors that are going to take this out and feel like they have, you know, the equivalent of a Hinderer or a, you know, Spider Coast Sprint Run in their pocket. And to the rest of the world, we're just going to look at them and go like, dude, why? But once you get past the ridiculous size and you're like, dude, what are you carrying around a machete in your pocket? I don't find a cool factor on this thing at all. Now, when we talk about customizability, you might be able to introduce a cool factor to it, but quality materials, we go down even further from 2.5 to 2. So you've got this aluminum or alloy or pig iron scales here. You've got God knows what kind of thin steel liners and a 3CR13 blade. There are worse materials in the world. There are, but not many. So there is actually room to go down, but there's so much room for improvement on this thing. Customizability, oh, speaking of, is a 4 actually, because you do have, I mean, we could blast this coating off and you've got all of this kind of metal surface now. This big old blade is a nice big canvas for doing custom work. So if you wanted to, you could do Cerakoting, you could do hydrographics, we could even do, micartas, G10s, acrylics, all sorts of materials on this handle. We can do multiple finishes at once. It's so big. On the blade, you can do Cerakoting, single colors. If you wanted to, you could do hydrographics. It's not recommended on a blade that you're going to use, but I mean, you could do, like I said, single color Cerakote, camouflage Cerakote, patterns, all sorts of stuff. There's a lot of customizability in this thing that would raise the cool factor up, I'm sure, but I still don't know if it wouldn't improve your utility value or your practicality value of this thing, the usability of this thing. You still have this giant hulking beast in your pocket, and it doesn't make it any more sturdy or strong or make the steel better, you know? But you could customize it a lot. Collectability value, it's a 2. There's nothing, this thing's not going to increase in value, not at all. It's an interesting piece to have, to take out and show and be like, hey, check this thing out. It's just not, it's, like I said, there are worse pieces, but there's tons of better pieces than this. Value of ownership, I put it a 3, and that's originally when I remembered the price being at like $11.99. $20.99, I might lower it down a little bit, $19.99. For the materials here, I'd feel much better paying $11.99 than $20.99. I will say again, I think the real value of ownership on this thing is learning how, with a good, softer steel, learning how to perfect your sharpening techniques. And it's a nice big blade to do it on. I think that's really one of the best things to own this knife for. But I don't know if I'd want to throw down $20 on just, for that purpose, you might as well just take the rest of the knife away, throw it away, and just keep the blade, Value to price ratio, I gave it a 2. A little bit below standard, especially at $19.99. For me, it's the kind of thing, this would never get pocket time. Never, ever. Ever, ever, ever. I might, it's the kind of thing I might do some custom work on and then just show off, but no, I wouldn't use it. But that is all my opinion, it's just me. So our total score there is 35.5, which is a nice even number. Nice even number. So we take our total combined score and we average it out, and we get our total average score of 2.95833, and we'll, round that up to a 3.0, or you could do 2.96. We'll give it a 2.96. Make it sound official. So it gets a 2.96, which is probably the lowest score we've given. But I warned them. I almost feel bad, but at the same time, I warned them. I'm going to give you an honest rating on this thing, and don't send me an MTech quality knife if you want an honest rating. But that's where I stand with it. But here's what I also know. That is my opinion, and my opinion alone. And this knife might have a utility value to someone else out there. I know there are people who even a $20 knife might be a little bit out of their budget right now. So in the spirit of getting giveaways going, rather than just have this one sit around and be unloved and unused, how would you guys feel? Who would be in on a giveaway of this knife? Who would like to have this one in their hand? Keeping in mind the legality factors, if we have, a 4-inch blade here, possibly over 4 inches. I don't remember the specs off the top of my head. Would you guys like to see this one given away? Is there anybody that wants to own this? And who cares about my feelings on it or my evaluation or my ratings? Because none of that matters if this knife is in your hands and you like it. I can go suck an egg. If this is a knife you guys would like to see given away on this channel to a subscriber as the next subscriber giveaway knife, and we've got others, but if you think that we should give this knife away, all you got to do is comment in the in the comments that, yeah, we should give this one away, we'll give it away, and we'll do it. Like I said, rather than just have it sit around in a drawer and never get used. Because I bet there's some people out there that would show this knife some love and would carry it around and would be happy to put it in a workshop or whatever you want to do with it. In the comments, what do you think? Number 1 of this knife. Number 2 of the ratings I gave it. Number 3, would you like to possibly, if you're a subscriber to this channel, would you like to win this knife? If you're not a subscriber to this channel, would you subscribe to win this knife? And what do you guys think? All right? I've noticed that the screaming of the cicadas has dropped down just a little bit. I'd also like to know, is the screaming of the cicadas decent enough to put up with outdoor videos? Because I like to do them outside. Or would you like me to go back and do inside videos? You guys let me know that too. I just love doing them outside. I love the outdoor videos. So, lots to think about and lots for you guys to comment about so we can discuss. I'm going to go take Tato the Wonder Dog for a walk because I still think it's a beautiful day. It's 91 degrees with like 80% humidity, but hey, it's still better than being stuck inside. So, you guys get to doing your little clickety-clacketing so we can work all those fun issues out. And in the meantime, remember, you are all absolutely awesome. I appreciate every single one of you. And I'll be back again real soon.